We'll get started. Thank you everyone for taking out your valuable time and give your holy association. See Aradhana Mataji has joined, Karthik Prabhu, Sampada Mataji, iPhone Prabhu, Nayan Prabhu. Thank you so much for your valuable association. So we'll begin with some prayers. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Om Agyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarini Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalai Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vasudeva Paraveda Vasudeva Paramakha Vasudeva Parayoga Vasudeva Parakriya Vasudeva Param Jnanam Vasudeva Param Tapa Vasudeva Parodharmo Vasudeva Param Gati. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare Hare. Sadhunam Samachittanam Sutaram Matkritatmanam Darshanedna Bhaved Bandho Pumso Vakshino Savitur Yataha. Hare Krishna. Humbly requesting all the devotees to please give your kind blessings so that for the next hour or so we can absorb in this transcendental nectar of Bhagavad Gita, and the right words and the right consciousness can come for our purification and to develop unalloyed bhakti. That is the only goal for our sadhana. So this is session number 28, and we are reading chapter 6 entitled Dhyana Yoga. Last week we read 6.1 to 6.8, and for those who may have missed, all the recordings are available for all the 27 sessions in the past. Anything you have missed, you can always go back and hear again. So anyone remembers what we discussed last time? Any one or two points from the first 8 verses of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6? Anyone?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, yeah, so this is Dhyana Yoga. So you explained us about how Dhyana, and also you explained us, to work with unattached, and you should not be attached to the fruits of activity, and you have to be equipoised. And I think we also discussed bandharatmatmanastasya. So, your mind can be your best friend or a worst enemy. And basically, you have to give higher taste to your mind, that is Krishna consciousness. So once we give Krishna consciousness to our mind, it will automatically get detached from the material lower consciousness. And of course, yoga,
Wonderful.
that's what we discussed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. It's pretty much the summary from the last time. And he also shared a video how we can control mind. Controlling mind is no easy thing. But again, we will discuss this in the later sessions. How Arjuna is also expressing the same concern. So the acronym for this chapter is easy, right? And the first E stands for enemy or friend. The mind, when controlled, can be the best friend. And the same mind in an uncontrolled state is the worst enemy. How is it a worst enemy? Because it makes us come back again and again in the repeated cycle of birth and death. The worst of the Shatrus or enemies can basically kill our body. The worst they can do, right? But the mind in an uncontrolled state will make us take birth again and again. So now we will start reading today with this next verse. And as always, if you are interested to read, all you have to do is raise your hand until your turn comes so everyone can get a chance to read one verse. So we'll start with 6.9. I think Aparna Mataji wants to read, so please go ahead and start.
Surya Mitraya Udishana. Hare Krishna. Surya Mitraya Udishana. Madhaste Deveshaya Bandhusu. Sadhusva Api Ka Papesu. Samabuddhi Vishishayate. Translation: a person is considered still further advanced when he regards honest, well-wishers, affectionate, benefactors, the neutral mediators, the envious, friends and enemies, the pious and the sinners, all with an equal mind. Back to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So this verse is in continuation with text number 7, 8, and 9. They all go together. And these are the symptoms of one who is in a yoga rudha stage. In the Ashtanga yoga, there are two stages as we discussed last time. Yoga ruksha, that means the beginning state, and the yoga rudha stage, that means the advanced stage. So there's not like a button. Bhakti or yoga is not like a button. You turn on the button, okay, I'm advanced yogi. In anything in life, right? Let's say one has to become a doctor. It's not that they enter in a college and then next day they become a doctor, right? There is a series of educations in multiple years and multiple semesters, and the junior doctor and the senior doctor and advanced surgeon. It takes years and years of constant practice, study, guidance under seniors. So same with any yoga process, whether it's the Ashtanga yoga or Bhakti yoga also. It's not that the first day we hold the mala in our hand and we become a pure devotee, right? So in Bhakti also, it's like a ladder. It's step by step. So same here, yoga ruksha is the beginning and yoga rudha. So these are the symptoms of yoga rudha stage. That means in an advanced stage, what a person thinks like, what is his mental thought? He does not think, this is mine, this is his. Stones and pebbles are alike, very, very advanced stage. Stones and gold, sorry. Can anyone think like that? Very, very rare soul. And then today we are reading about everyone has some, soft heart towards their near and dear one, which is very natural. But a real suhrit, here it's mentioned, su means good, hrit means heart. A devotee has real suhridam sarvabhutana, not only towards his family members, or his community members, oh, these are my children, or this is my uncle, my aunt, my community, I am Indian, so I love Indians, or I am Punjabi, so I love Punjabis, right? This is also extended form of selfishness, but on the bodily platform, because soul is not Gujarati, Punjabi, Telugu, etc. Soul is not Indian, American, or German, or all these designations. Soul is not doctor or engineer or lawyer or all these things. Soul is the same, whether a dog's in the body of a dog, in the body of an elephant, in the body of a human, in the body of a male, female. So a spiritual person sees everyone in that spirit. Like Srila Prabhupada, he did not distinguish between Indians and Americans, black or white. He fanned the spark in everyone's heart, because everyone has that inherent Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada saw that, whether male disciples or female disciples, whether Indian disciples or American disciples. He encouraged everyone to the best of, they wanted to receive. So this is Bhakti Yoga. And this is actually Dhyana Yoga, but Dhyana Yoga, as we will study, it's not for applicable in this day and age. We'll study that. But the point here is a person, a real Krishna conscious person, is some features are common, right? And we will study that also. Some features are common, like tranquility, like tolerance. Dhyana Yoga also is required. And in Bhakti Yoga, a devotee naturally inquires that after sufficiently practicing, all those stages become natural. And we see that so many devotees serving the community without any designations, without any biases. This is a big thing in today, and even in the management circle, they say don't have a bias. There is a conscious bias and there is a subconscious bias, right? But a devotee does not have any biases. Because if we have a bias, we will not be able to really serve that person. That means we will tend to be judgmental. Oh, the person who has certain color of skin is good. The person who has certain color of skin is bad. This is a very biased mentality, right? But a devotee does not have that, because we have made our mind before even we start the conversation. Or this person will accept Krishna consciousness, this will not accept Krishna consciousness. Who are we to decide that? Krishna will decide that. We have to do our part, right? We have to try. Of course, we have to intelligently try. That does not mean we have to force anyone, but we have to give a fair chance as a medium of Prabhupada's mercy and try to overcome those biases. Okay, let's read text number 10. Yes, anyone wants to read? Yes, Ravi Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yogi yujita satatmatmanam rahasi sthitah ekaki yat chitatma nirashira parigraha. Translation: a transcendentalist should always engage his body, mind, and self in relationship with the Supreme. He should live alone in a secluded place and should always carefully control his mind. He should be free from desires and feelings of possessiveness. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So here we are talking about the next letter from text number 10, the A of Ashtanga Yoga. And as we know, in Ashtanga Yoga, there are multiple limbs: Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. These are the 8. Ashta means 8. Ashta Anga. Anga means limbs, right? These are the different 8 parts of Ashtanga Yoga. Yam means do's and don'ts, regulations. Sorry, Yam means don'ts. Niyam means do's. Asana, we all know. So many asanas are there, taras, and there are like over 200 asanas, right? Then pranayam, the breathing exercise. Brastika, Kapalbhati, Agnisar, and Anulom Vilom, so many pranayams, which we also do, but not for self-realization. This is for to keep the body healthy so that we can do better service. And we will talk about today in the later part of our discussion, how to balance life, as we mentioned. Pratyahara, withdrawal from sense objects. Now, no one talks about this in the yoga classes, right? Yoga studios, yoga has become a big industry. No one talks. They rather say, oh, do beer yoga. Do yoga and have a beer along with it. This is very famous these days. Why? Because people want to enjoy the senses rather than taking the senses away from that. Dharana, to fix our mind on the Lord's form. No one talks about that. Vasudeva para yoga. We just read the ultimate goal of yoga is to understand Lord Vasudeva. As we were hearing this class at Anita Mataji's home, Prabhupada says these days people think Sharira para yoga, right? The ultimate goal of yoga is to have a better body and to enjoy better senses. That's not the real purpose of yoga. The real purpose of yoga is to fix the mind on the form of the Lord. Dhyana, intensified meditation, and samadhi, complete absorption. And there is one more penultimate or an ultimate stage, samadhi siddhi ishvara pranidhana. The perfection of samadhi is complete absorption in Krishna consciousness. So this is real yoga system, not just some bodily twisting and turning to enjoy senses. That's not yoga. That's basically sense gratification in a polished way. So here a yogi, a transcendentalist, referring to dhyana yogi, engages his body, mind, and self. Good. Body, mind, words. In Bhakti Yoga, also we engage, but this person has to go to a secluded place. And let's see what Prabhupada is mentioning here in the purport. Basically, Krishna is realized in different degrees as Brahman, Paramatma, and Supreme Lord Bhagavan. Krishna consciousness concisely means to be engaged in transcendental loving service. All these actually purports for this class. We won't read all of them, but I humbly request you, all of these purports are very powerful. So please read whatever verses will cover up till 17 today, 9 to 17. 9 does not have a purport, to 10 to 17. Please read those purports also. We'll try to take only a few sections. So basically in the Dhyana Yoga, what's happening? A devotee is more on the platform of meditation on the in the Paramatma form. So Paramatma realization, Brahman realization. Let me do okay. Anyways, so the level 1, level 2, level 3. Okay. So what does Brahman realization mean? The impersonal feature, the effulgence, like the sunrise right now. The sun is there. I don't see the sun in my room, but I see the sun rays, right? So that's basically the effulgence of the sun. The localized form in as Krishna in everyone's heart. And the personal form as the Tribhanga Swarupa Sham Sundara, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, with lotus hands, lotus limbs, lotus eyes. Okay, that's the Bhagavan feature, which has all the features, Satchid Ananda. We cannot establish, relationship with light, right? It's or merging in the impersonal effulgence, because Jiva by nature is active, right? Will we like to be in a dark room just by ourselves? No one will bother us. No one will say anything to us, just in a dark room. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Void. So the impersonalists try to merge in the impersonal effulgence. But that's very incomplete understanding or realization of the absolute truth. But devotees want to serve in a personal way, like cooking for Krishna, like picking flowers for Krishna, like dressing like a friend, like a mother, like a father, like a gopa, like the birds. Everyone in spiritual world has a transcendental relationship with the Supreme Lord. We don't like to call the devotees don't call the Supreme Lord as God, or the omniscient, or the supreme, or the inconceivable. They're all the names, yes, but devotees like to call with the personal names. For example, if I have to address, let's say, Ravi Prabhu, right? I can say a man, right? Is that correct? What do you say? That's correct. But would you like to be addressed as a man or a living being? Is that correct? That's correct. It's very, very kind of low level of understanding, right? That's correct, but very, very partial way of understanding Ravi Prabhu. But if I address him with the beautiful, the person who's wearing this beautiful shirt in a blue color, so Krishna is a Pitambar, right? It's a beautiful name. But addressed by his father's name, the son of Mr. So and so, or the one who lives in the city of Jackson, right? Gokulavasi. So that these are personal names of Krishna. Sham Sundara, Govardhan Dhari, Vamsidhari, Gopal, Radha Madhava, Radha Gopinath, Radha Rasa Bihari, so many names. So we address Krishna with those names, not like, oh God, oh omniscient, oh omnipotent. These are fine, but they are not the complete understanding. The Radha Madhav includes all that, right? If I say Ravi Prabhu as a beautiful person wearing nice goggles and nice shirt, it's obvious the man and the living being understanding is included in that. Do you agree with that? So that's obvious. That's like unstated fact, but it's kind of implied with those meanings. So this is the way we can understand or realize. And Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport that those who are attached to the impersonal or the localized Brahman, super soul, referring to the impersonalist and the Dhyana yogis. So who worship the impersonal are the Jnana yogis, and who worship the localized, the Dhyana yogis. We're reading this chapter. So we're talking about the Dhyana yogis who follow the system of Ashtanga yoga. So they worship the localized form as Paramatma, which is fine. But what is Prabhupada writing here? The impersonalist and the meditator are also indirectly Krishna conscious. Indirect. It's not the direct way. A directly Krishna conscious person is the topmost transcendentalist, referring to Bhakti yogis, because such a devotee knows what is meant by Brahman and Paramatma. So the one who's understood the Bhagavan aspect, right? So the other two aspects are included in there. Anyone has any questions? If it's something is not clear, feel free, because this topic comes multiple times, these three realizations in Bhagavad Gita and also in the Bhagavatam. So the process of worship, Bhakti yogas do devotional service, impersonalists do speculative knowledge, jnana, and then the Paramatma realization, the Dhyana yogis do meditation, dhyan, basically one of the seventh limb of Ashtanga yoga. It's one more way to understand is like, there are multiple ways to understand this, but one more way is like milk, right? We can hear about milk by, okay, this is milk, white in color, this and that, right? Which is fine. We can smell milk, right? We will maybe a little better understanding, oh, this milk is very nice. It also has cardamom powder in it and maybe some kesar, very nice. But what's the best way to understand is by drinking it through the medium of the tongue. Sevon mukhe hi jivado. We were reading this. Swayamev spurti adaha. So that the understanding through the tongue will include the other understandings also. Right? So this is Bhakti Yoga. It includes Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and everything. Jnana and Dhyan, Vairagya, everything. They are like the natural byproducts of Bhakti. Gyan and Vairagya are the two sons of Bhakti actually. Janeshu Ashu Vairagyam, Gyanam Chadyat Ahetukam. In Bhagavatam, Krishna says this. So, what's the lesson here? That one should always think of Krishna and not forget him for a moment. That's the complete perfection of all the yogas. And he should be very careful to accept favorable and reject unfavorable. In Dhyana Yoga, basically reject everything. Go to secluded place, chodo ghar bar, chalo Haridwar. You don't have to reject the things which are favorable. Prabhupada didn't reject the things which were favorable for bhakti. Traveling in a plane multiple times, this was not something which sannyasis would do at that time. And many people accused him, hey, you are a sannyasi, how dare you crossing the ocean? But Prabhupada used it in a transcendental way for Krishna's service. Same with money. He used the money to build so many temples, so many temple projects, farm communities, schools, gurukuls, etc. So one should have the right way to use it. And we discussed this last time also. Heat is not bad. Knife is not bad. It depends on whose hand it is in. The knife in a doctor's hand can be used to protect someone's life. The knife in a cook's hand, a devotee cook can make wonderful dishes by cutting different vegetables and offer it to Krishna. But the same knife in the hand of a person with uncontrolled mind can be used to kill someone. So the knife is not bad. It depends who is using it and what consciousness is using. Same with the things of the world. So we have to reject the unfavorable and accept the favorable. And Sri Rupa Goswami is talking about a nice verse. Some people say reject everything. One who rejects everything without knowledge in its relationship with Krishna is called Falgu Vairagya. Falgu Vairagya, we discussed that. There's a river in Bihar, it flows underneath. So outside one may reject, no, I don't want this, but inside hankering for it. Inside the river of desires is flowing. So last point in this purport, he knows, where is that? He knows how to accept things in favorable for Krishna consciousness and how to reject which are not favorable. This is Bhakti Yoga. This is the transcendental platform. And as I said before, all these purports are very important. So please read when you get chance. And after chapter 6, we'll have a quiz also, right? So I think it will help you in your quiz also. So let's read next verse. But before that, is it clear the three levels of understanding of the realization, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, who is worshipping, and what's the goal of a Bhakti Yoga process? And to share the screen again in case you want to take a note or something. So the analogy is also discussed, sun analogy, milk analogy, so many analogies are there to understand this point. But understanding of Bhagavan includes understanding of Paramatma and the Brahman feature as well. And those who worship the Bhakti yogis go home, back to Godhead, where they can develop a personal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. Yes, Vyas Prabhu, you want to read or?
Prabhuji, can I take a snip of this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. Yes.
Bhakti, can you also explain the milk analogy? Sorry, I missed that part.
Sure. So I mentioned that milk is basically, this is in Kapil Muni's teachings in the Bhagavatam. So someone can say milk is white. So we talk about milk, we hear about milk, oh, the milk is white, it's liquid, right? That's correct, right? That's correct, but that's partially correct. Someone can say, well, get the nose close to milk and the milk smells very nice. It's I can feel the hot milk. I can smell the kesar in it. It's a very nice, very nice. That's also correct. Maybe a little better than the just by seeing. But the real way to understand is to drink it and to experience with the medium of the tongue. In that understanding, the other two understandings are naturally built in. So,
Thank you.
Okay. Let's read the next words, 6, 11, and 12. Anyone wants to read this verses? Aradhana, Mataji, you want to read?
बोल Kaodesi parashtapya stitam asanam atmana niti ucharitam nati nicham kalaj jnana kurushrutram tart aragramana kartva yata chitrendriya karaya upashya sana jnanaya yogamatma vishuddhaye. Translation: to practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place and should lay kusa grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should be neither too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses, and activities and fixing the mind on one point. Hari Bol Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So this is the dhyana aspect of the yoga ruda stage. Go to a secluded place, place a deer skin, and erect back. So who all can do that? Anyone? Go to a secluded place. So here Prabhupada is referring, sacred place refers to the place of pilgrimage like Mathura, Prayag, Haridwar, Rishikesh, etc. And solitude, we'd already discussed that. So, but it's not possible in big cities, Bombay, Delhi, Toronto, Tampa, New York, wherever we are. All of us are not living, most of us are living in the Western countries, which is mentioned here. So basically it's ruled out, right? And if we, who will get deer or tiger skin? Basically in the ancient times, it was used so that the reptiles don't bother. The small like lizards, insects don't come, right? To bother if it's on the yogi is sitting on these types of skin. But we don't have to do that. And we will see the contrast between these yoga, the dhyana yoga and the prerequisites. These are the prerequisites required. Even the process is not even started. What kind of sitting arrangement you need to do this dhyana yoga process. Very difficult. So therefore, Prabhupada is mentioning that the best means of spiritual realization is Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam kalev nastim 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 gatir anyatha. In the age of Kali Yoga, which is the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy name. No other way, no other way, no other way. So simple and straightforward process. Let's see some contrasts, and those who want to take snippets and snapshots, screenshots, whatever, feel free, because it's not mine. I have also taken that. So, and just presenting it for our purification. So the principle is basically to engage the body, mind, and self in relationship with the Supreme. But in Krishna consciousness, that's basically the core, to constantly engage the body, mind. So basically, this is a common thing. Okay, so as I said, some things are common, but some things are very difficult in Ashtanga Yoga, right? The relationship with the Supreme, they focus more on the impersonalist or the indirect form of Krishna consciousness, the impersonal effulgence or the Paramatma feature. But devotee is in fully relationship, full Krishna consciousness and a relationship with the Lord, as a son, as a mother, as a father, as a servant, as so many other ways, Shantya, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, etc. The place of practice, live alone, give up family, give up everything, go to Haridwar, go to Rishikesh, in the banks of river Yamuna, Ganga. What's the purpose? To avoid external disturbances. But nowadays, if one may go there, as we discussed, one will still be attached to tea. So many people, you go to Haridwar, say, Baba, chai pilado, bidi, smoking bidi, smoking cigarette, in holy places, in the dress of a sadhu. what's the use of giving up family and be attached to bidi, cigarette, chai, right? So rather, devotee stays in good association. That's our goal, no matter whatever city we are in. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is very practical, feasible, and recommended process in this day and age. We don't have to change our situations. We don't have to change our family situations. We don't have to change our city. We don't have to artificially go to Vrindavan. Of course, we should try to go, but in the sense to take inspiration. But it's not that we give up our everything, home, family, job, business, and just say, I'll settle there. And what will I do there? I'll think, oh, I should have not done this. My friend is earning more than me. He has a better car. I have just a bicycle. Then what is the use? Mind control struggles hard to fix the mind on super soul. But devotee always thinks of Krishna and never forgets him. This is the real way of concentration. And this will come in the following verses also. So this analogy or this comparison we'll continue to study. So in this point, there is mention about in the previous point, there was mention about the manner of sitting, right? Erect back and very firmly, not high or low. But what if someone cannot sit with an erect back? It's fine. Okay, sit on a comfortable chair, but chant Hare Krishna, right? We don't need deer skin. We can just, sit simply on a chair or on the ground or on a mat, whatever is comfortable. So secluded place actually is not recommended for devotees. Of course, while chanting, we should try to be in a secluded place or in association of devotees. It's not that, like, think about, the idea is to avoid disturbances, right? Chanting, it's quite obvious. You won't chant in a shopping complex. It's not the best place to chant the holy name, right? You won't chant in of course, we can chant extra rounds and stuff like that, but in a crowded bus, not the best place to chant Hare Krishna. Of course, we can chant extra rounds and always chant, but our core rounds, we should try to chant nicely in an environment free from external disturbance. That's the intent. Okay, let's read further this verse 13 and 14 together. Yes, Anita Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. Samyam kaya shiro grivam dharayan achalam sthiraha samprekshaya nashika grama shvam disas chanvalokayan prasannatatma vigatabhir brahmachari vrate sthita mana samyamya machito yukta asita matpara. Hare Krishna. Translation. Shall I read the translation, Prabhuji?
Please.
One should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So here we see the process of, in the previous two verses, we saw the place. What kind of place is required, what kind of mat is required, what kind of environment is required. Here we see how that person should sit. Straight line, head erect, back erect, body erect, everything perfectly erect. Just try sitting like this for 5 minutes. You'll feel the pain, right? It's not easy. You'll miss it for 5 minutes, again the body will go down. Again, someone has to remind, okay, Baba, sit properly. Again, the body will go. Again, you have to remind, right? So very, very difficult, especially in this day and age. Nowadays, we want comfortable, what do you call, couches and electronic couches, and you what all these things are there, sofa, and move your legs up, move your back up. So we are not, no one will practice this. And what to speak of, not just the back thing. Okay, someone can still do this. Complete free from sex life. So basically, grihasthas are ruled out in this, in the Dhyana Yoga process. So let's see what Prabhupada is mentioning. The yoga process is practiced in order to discover the localized form of Vishnu, not for any other purpose. Very, very clear. The goal of yoga is to understand Vishnu or Krishna. One who has no program to realize this Vishnu Murti is uselessly engaged in mock yoga practice and certainly wasting his or her time. I mean, there could be nothing more clear than this, right? As clear as the light, the noon sun. Just moving and twisting body here and there and up and down is mock yoga. Prabhupada is saying that until the goal is to understand Vishnu Murti, to understand the Paramatma, to understand Krishna. Vasudeva Para Yoga. Krishna is the ultimate goal of life. Krishna is the ultimate goal of yoga practice. Yoga means to connect. Yoga means to add. So, and then this we see complete, now what to do, complete brahmacharya. So Prabhupada is giving a very nice term called grihastha brahmachari for bhakti yogis, not for dhyana yogis. Brahmachari is taught, the brahmachari is very, very important. Brahmacharati iti brahmacharya, whether male or female, is very important. Nowadays, why the society is getting degraded? Because of lack of following brahmacharya. Free mixing of sexes, teenage pregnancies, abortion, and whatnot. We all know these common problems because if someone does not have a kind of a before marriage a partner, that person is considered an outlier. The society is training the kids this way, right? So very sad situation, and therefore no one has inclination for spiritual life because the society is all centered around sense gratification. The kids are exposed to wrong things at a very early age, and the masses are not Krishna conscious. They go to schools and colleges, they are exposed to other kids, and very naturally the Sangha will have an effect, right? So therefore, this is a duty of parents and teachers to do their best and train the kids very nicely to follow brahmacharya. So that was the Vedic system. The kids were sent to the Gurukul, the female. They were not like common co-ed things. Of course, these days it's very hard to do all those things, but as far as possible, one should do the best. So having a sexual relationship, only with one's wife after legally marrying under regulation is also called brahmachari. The Prabhupada is writing this as it is. Such a restrained householder brahmachari may be accepted in the bhakti school, but in the jnana dhyana school do not even admit such householder brahmacharis. So now dhyana and jnana not practical. Going to a secluded place, 99% of the population is in grihastha ashram. So basically it's not applicable for this day and age. They require some complete subsistence without compromise. They means the jnana and dhyana. In the bhakti school, householder brahmachari is allowed controlled sex life because the cult of bhakti yoga is so powerful that it automatically loses sexual attraction because of engaged in the superior service of the Lord. So it's not that bhakti yogis, grihasthas are allowed to have sex life. Okay, hari bol, hari bol, hari bol. The goal is to uplift from that lower modes. The goal is to not artificially, we cannot artificially give up things. Rather than if artificially gives up, one will have an extramarital affairs or outside marriage or even going to Vrindavan, going to Haridwar, but looking for opposite sex. That's not the goal. The goal is to regulate. Marriage is not a license to sex. Marriage is a platform to regulate those desires, to uplift by higher taste. At least it's in the regulation. At least it's not spoiling the society. And then Krishna says, so that person who is following this vow is basically a household brahmachari. He still can practice Krishna consciousness and will certainly make advancement. So Grihastha brahmachari, this term Prabhupada is using very nicely, and will be free from bhaya, vigata bihi. What is the cause of fear? Lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge is the cause of fear. But when a person understands, I'm the spirit soul, the body will die anyways. So what's the purpose? The purpose is to make self spiritual advancement. And so follow the process of bhakti yoga. Death will come. Whether it comes after 1 year or 100 years, that's not in my control. So let me focus in what's in my control. I read a very nice quote yesterday by His Holiness Sankarshan Das Goswami Prabhu. He said, live your life in such a way that if death has to come today, you will go back home, back to God. Very powerful. So it's a question to myself. Am I living my life in such a way that if I have to die today, I'll go back home, back to God? I don't know. The answer is no. But that means I have lots and lots to improve and work on. So, okay. Any other comments before we move on to the next verse? Okay, we'll move a little quicker because actually we haven't even come to the part I wanted to discuss today. So, text 15. Yes, Vyas Prabhu, you want to read? Yeah, please unmute. Yes.
Yujjanevam sadatmanam yogi niyatamanasah shanti nirvana parama matsyasthama digachiti. Thus, practicing constant control of the body, mind, and activities, the mystic transcendentalist, his mind regulated, attains to the kingdom of God, and bracket, or the abode of Krishna, by sensation of material existence. There should be
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So, yes, ultimately, as we discussed, Ashtanga Yoga is also a process to attain the same destination. But we already discussed the prerequisites required are so difficult, it's not the process for this day and age. And only people do a portion, tiny, insignificant portion, and they say we are Ashtanga yogis, we are Hatha yogis, we are. That's not the real yoga. Yoga means, again, to connect with Krishna, to go back home, back to Godhead. Yoga practice, again, Prabhupada is mentioned, not for attaining any material facility. It is to enable the cessation of material existence, not to perpetuate our material existence, not to keep moving in the cycle of birth and death. But the so-called yoga is so-called mock yoga, as Prabhupada mentioned, will only perpetuate material existence. It will not put an end to the birth, old age, disease, and death. Rather, it will just, the mock yoga will just lead to disaster. Okay, so you can read this purport later at the last words Prabhupada is quoting. In other words, perfection of yoga system is attainment of freedom from material existence, not some gymnastics to befool innocent people. So Prabhupada knew what's going to come. At that time, it was little less. Still, there was a lot of this yoga because Prabhupada was living at some yoga studios. Who was that? Dr. Mishra or someone? I forgot. People hanging upside down, Iyengar yoga, this yoga, that yoga. And earlier it was still a little sensible, but nowadays it is a goat yoga and boat yoga and beer yoga and hen yoga, just concoction, getting deviation from the scriptures, mental concoction. The goal is to get money, the goal is to enjoy senses. So it is just a mockery on the name of yoga. So let's read the main two verses for today, 16 and 17. So we'll read these two and then we'll discuss both together. So anyone who has not read so far wants to read? Those who are in a position to turn on cameras can turn on so you can see. Yes, Natasha, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Nati ashnastastu yogosti, na chaikantam anashnata, na chati swapna shilasya jagrato naiva charjuna. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. There is no possibility of once becoming a yogi, O Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. So we'll discuss these two verses together. Let's read the next verse also. Text number 17, they are quite linked. Anyone who has not yet read? Dear Prabhu, Renuka Mataji, are in a position to read?
Hare Krishna devotees, Dhanvat Pranam of Krishna Srila Prabhupada. Text number 17. Yuktahara viharasya yukta chetasya karmashu yukta swapna tasya yoga bhakti dukkha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. These are very, very important topics about regulation. Regulation leads to freedom. Regulating eating, regulating sleeping, regulating recreation, regulating everything in life. One who thinks, no, I'm free. Why are you saying regulate? I'm free. In the car, let's say if someone thinks, I'm free to drive at any speed. I'm free to follow my own, whims and fantasies. What will happen? The person will get ticket. One after the other, and ultimately the license will be revoked. But the person who follows the regulation actually is free to drive on the road. So this is the essential, form, the regulative principles of freedom, the regulation for sleeping, regulation for eating, regulation for recreation. So let's see some of the, what this regulation means. And we named this topic today, the balancing life, right? These two verses are very important to balance life. And balance, we are talking about balancing human form of life, correct? We're not talking about balancing animal form of life. We are all have achieved this rare of the rare. This human form is very, very rare. Durlabha manusha deha dehinam shanbhangura. And the human form of life is only called human form of life when the focus is bhakti. Otherwise, it's not called human form of life. I'm not saying this. Shastras say that. Ahar nidra bhai maithunam cha samanyam etad pashubhinaranam dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho dharma vina pashubhinaranam. So animals also eat food. They also sleep. They have kids. They have their own lifestyle. They have their mental health or finances they don't need because they are they get without that. They don't have to work hard like us to get money. They naturally get their food. They naturally get their shelter. They have friends, they have relationship, they do recreation, they have physical health. So they have everything basically here, right? Outside, correct? You all agree? This is what we do. We spend our time, majority of the time, outside these: food, kids, lifestyle, relationship, recreation, mental health, physical health, food, finances, friends, right? Do you all agree with that? Major limbs of our life. So if the center limb is missing, as Bhakti Samit Maharaj says, then we are not even talking about balancing human form of living. If a person is just balancing all these things without the cardinal principle of bhakti, then it's balancing animal life. Sorry if it sounds harsh, but scriptures say tough things to us, right? Because scriptures are meant to open up our eyes, not to just say, okay, do what you want. Yes, just keep going. Scriptures are there to open us. Guru means to awaken us from the darkness. So we will talk about how to balance things, keeping bhakti as the center, right? Yes, a devotee also eats food, a devotee also sleeps, devotee also has kids, here lifestyle, mental health, finances, friends, relationship, recreation, physical. All these things are there. Home, but the focus is bhakti. If the focus is not bhakti, then sorry to say, we can't move forward. So this principle has to be clear. And in that, there is regulation about sleeping. So Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport here, if to not undersleep and oversleep. If, Arjuna, if one sleeps too much or does not sleep enough, or basically little sleep, one cannot be a yogi. We don't have to practice bhakti for one day, correct? Right? We have to practice long term till the last breath of our life, and we don't know how many years and decades we have. So we should not artificially imitate some Mahajans. Oh, like Shad Goswamis, Ahara Nidra Vijatau, Nidra Hara Vijatau. They were conquered, eating sleepy. Arjuna was Gurukesha. He was practicing in the night. But if we do it once in a while is okay. Like sleeping late for Janmashtami program, or once or twice a year, or a few times, it's understood. But if every day we oversleep or undersleep, it will lead to problems. So what is the right amount of sleep? Prabhupada mentioned in the last line of the purport, one who sleeps more than 6 hours out of 24 hours is certainly influenced by the mode of ignorance, as it is from the purport. A person in the mode of ignorance is lazy and prone to sleep a great deal. Such a person cannot perform yoga or cannot be a yogi. So basically, everyone's body is different. Everyone's situation is different. Kids need some more sleep as they're in their growing ages. But for adults, 6 to 7 is, for most human beings, is okay. Someone can manage with 5 also. Someone can manage with 6, someone 6.5. Everyone's body is different. There could be certain days we may need a little more based on if one is sick, one is, had done a lot of physical work. So there's not like a one size fits all, but Prabhupada mentioned 6 to 7 at certain places also. But if it's more than 8, that Baba needs certainly a lot of improvement. So, and with practice, we can regulate also. With practice, we can. So not just the hours of sleeping, but the how we sleep also. Okay, one can sleep 6 hours, but 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's not good, right? We have to try to get up in the Brahma Muhurta. Prabhupada at one place said, all these points, my dear friends, I collected from multiple devotees. So these are very important points. I'm not speaking to all of you. Actually, I'm speaking to myself. Because I also I know I have a lot of room to improve in these points. So I'm sharing for myself. But this is very important. The secret to advancement in bhakti is to get up early and chant and get ready and chant. The Brahma Muhurta is the special gift which Krishna gives, but very few are able to open that gift. Rest are busy sleeping. Even in devotee circles, even those who are, with no offense to anyone, we are not judging anyone. Okay, others, even if they sleep late, others we have to think, Baba, you are a very great Vaishnava. You can manage at 7 a.m. japa also, but I am very, very fallen. If I chant late, I'm already such a pathetic devotee. If I chant late, I'll be even more struggling. You can inspire, but we don't have to judge. Hey, I'm better than you because I get up at 5 and you get up at 7. So I'm better than you. That's not the goal. The goal is self-improvement. The goal is whatever time you are getting up, let's try to improve. With practice, everything is possible. If we are getting up at, let's say, 6:30, then we can try gradually. A few weeks, I'll get up at 6. If we're getting up at 6, we can try, okay, a few weeks, I'll try for 5:30. And like that, we can. The best time is to sleep around 9:30 to 10 and get up around 4 to 4:30. This is recommended by the Shastras. Around 6.5 hours is best. As per Ayurveda, there are sleep association, there are sleep foundations in every country, every city. They have also done this research. So all these points are from Shastras, and modern science also explains that. So don't sleep too much. It will lead to laziness, kumbhakarna. Don't sleep too little. It will lead to problems. If one day we can manage, that's fine. But if every day one is sleeping only 2-3 hours, one thinks I'll be fine. No, impossible. Unless one is at the level of Haridas Thakur, unless one is at the level of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada had no jet lags. Even in the night, everyone was sleeping. At 2 a.m., he would transcribe or he would dictate the Shastras, his Bhaktivedanta purports. But we can't imitate, sorry. We must not imitate. We have to follow the footsteps, not just artificially imitate. And in no case we should sleep under Sandhya time. So, the 3 Sandhyas, morning, sunrise, afternoon, noon, around 12 to 1-ish, and then the evening, the 3 transitions of the day. Sandhya also means connect. Sandhi means to connect, right? Jarasandha. Sandhi means to connect. It's a time to connect with Krishna. And Brahma Muhurta is very, very special. So we must avail it. Srila Prabhupada says our seriousness is tested by how much we are eager to get in Brahma Muhurta for spiritual practice. This is the austerity for Kali Yuga. So we must take it seriously. Even kids also should take up this seriously. Let the kids go to bed at 8. Let them go early. Let them go at 9, 8:30, whatever. Even if they want, let's say 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock is how many hours? 9 hours sleep. That's a lot. That's sufficient, I think, right? I had this conversation with, they all agreed that around 8 hours is sufficient for them. I'm talking about the 10 to 15 years. The young infants and all, they may need more. But below 5 years, they don't need to chant. They can't chant. Anyways, so the point is, and after one progresses, one makes advancement, then it will become habit, right? Abhyasa. With practice, everything is possible. So try. It's a big topic about sleeping. What to speak of spiritual success? Even in materialistic life, the great CEOs, they are not sleeping till 7 or 8 a.m. They are up. Of course, they don't chant Hare Krishna. But at least we can take inspiration, at least look at the determination he has to work. How can I not have that determination for bhakti? Right? Anything we have to achieve great. I heard a quote yesterday. If you do things which is easy, if you do what is easy, then the life will be hard. And if you do things which are hard, then the life will be easy. Basically, Shreyas and Prayas. If I guess sleep, who does not like sleep? Everyone likes sleep, right? Okay, sleep till 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. And this is for all, right? Sunday or Monday, bhakti means every day, right? For devotee, there is no weekend. That does not mean we don't do recreation, we don't take care of our body. I'm not fanatic like that, not saying anything like that. We must take care. If someone is sick, it's understood. But it's not a weekend, I'll just take it easy, I'll get up at 10 a.m., just chill out. We lost the great opportunity. Half day is over. By 10 a.m. for a devotee, half a day is over. Right? The crucial time is over. Well begun is half done. Sleeping, regulating sleeping is very important. Very important. People love to sleep. Everyone loves to sleep. But with practice and determination, it can be. I have made a slide how to get up early also. You want me to share? Again, it's for me only. I have done all this. So I'll share if time permits. I'll share that. Yeah, I was talking about materialistic people. The CEO of Pepsi, the CEO of Apple, Facebook, all these people are up at 4. Narendra Modi, our Indian Prime Minister, was also a great devotee also. He's up. He doesn't sleep like 8 hours, 6, 7 hours, only 3, 4 hours, right? Gets up at like 3:30. Moglila Prabhu was saying with the Neta or Abhineta, Akshay Kumar, gets up at 4 a.m. Everyone, anything great in any field, all these Olympic medalists, you think they are sleeping at like 8 a.m.? They're not sleeping at 8 a.m. Yeah, please keep your phone on mute. Raise your hand and you know, the flow is better if you have to say something. I remember when I was a child, our coach, I used to play badminton for state level. He used to say, you have to be at the court at 5 a.m. That means you have to get up at 4, be ready, take our kids and everything, drive the bicycle all to the court and be there at 5 a.m. When I was like in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, year after year, I was following that. I was not into Bhakti at that time. But to achieve great things, one has to give up the things which are dear to the whole world. And that's for everything also. Food, same thing. Who does not like burger, pizza, pasta, fried food, oily, spicy, chatpata, all that? Everyone likes that, right? Gulab jamun, one after the other, or sandesh, or pasta, and pastry, and cakes. But if we continue to eat that, okay, once in a while is fine. Once in a while it's okay. But every day, if one's diet is that, if we do things what are easy, then the life will be hard, right? If we follow our mind and senses, the life will be hard ahead. Obesity will come, cardiac diseases, cholesterol, all the problems, cancer, etc. will come. Of course, they may come. I'm not saying that if you eat very healthy, they will not come. But at least we can reduce the likelihood. That is in our control. Whatever is prarabdha, we cannot change that. Whatever is destined. But destiny also can be changed, Prabhupada says. Prabhupada will, Krishna will see that, look at this person. He's trying very sincerely. Eating only Krishna Prasad. That's the regulation of eating. And even in Prasadam does not mean we eat like a glutton. We have to honor Prasad. Oh, Gulab Jamun, 10 Gulab Jamun. Samosa, 5 samosas. Even if it's Krishna Prasad, so what? I'm meant to serve Krishna. I'm not meant to, again, once in a while it's okay, but that once in a while should not be every week. So talking about some sleeping, anyone has any comments around this? Chaitanya Charan Prabhu says this, we have to fall asleep, but we don't have to fall for sleep. Jo jagat hai so pavat hai, jo sovat hai so khovat. Famous quote from Ramayana. Yes, Vyas Prabhu, please.
So, Prabhuji, I have been trying to get up early in the morning. You won't believe, for 2 years, almost. But when the alarm rings, hand goes straight to snooze, and yeah. So I'm still trying. I'm not giving up. But yeah, I don't know why I cannot set that up.
Mhm.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu, for seriously trying and sincerely opening up your heart. We will discuss about it and hope that will help. And for those who want the extra dose of chastisement, I have a special lecture. I thought it may be too heavy for some, so I won't speak it here. But if someone wants, I want that extra dose, then you message me. I'll send you that lecture by Anandandavan Prabhu. Aparna Mataji, please, you want to say something?
This chapter is absolutely dedicated to yogi or yogini life, how to maintain it or how to abstain the materialistic things. It's very, very difficult. I'm generalizing it, but still.
Try. Again, this is not for brahmacharis. This is for all of us. Even in material life, as I said, if we have to achieve something great, we have to give up the lower pleasures. Sleep is a lower pleasure. Give up means regulation, right? I remember, as I told you, again, I was not into all this before, but I had a habit somehow by my prarabdha or my parents. I would sleep at 8 o'clock. My parents would be at anywhere in the world. There's some uncle's home, auntie's home, masi, mama. I'll just sleep there. They'll load me in the car and unload me back at the home. So that was my habit. And then I'll get up and go to play at 4:30. So again, not saying that I was doing something great, but just somehow the habit can be developed. It can be developed in kids also. It can be, again, we have to see, we don't have to be fanatic. We have to see everyone's situation, when the why is strong, then the how gets easier. Very simple. How many have taken flights at odd hours, right? 4 a.m. is the flight, international flight. We are there at the airport at 2 a.m. We all have taken some of those. If there's an interview at 6 a.m., do you think we'll get up at 5:50 for the interview? No, we'll be ready and awake, 100% alert at 6 a.m. or even at 5 a.m. Let's say it's an international interview, someone in US is interviewing. They say you have to be up at 4 a.m. Won't be awake? You will be 100% awake. And the why is strong. And all these heavy things are there in that lecture, how we can do more. If we have to go, sometimes the boss calls, hey, be at the office at 5 a.m. We'll be there or no? We'll be there, right? Sometimes people have night shifts. So for materialistic things, we do that, but for spiritualists, so we have to gradually, again, it's a gradual process. In long term, we have to sustain, not just for a week or two, but if we keep trying, it will happen. And we have to sincerely try. Okay. Let's talk about eating, because regulation in eating is also important. Eat to live, not live to eat, right? Very important. I hope that's clear and self-explanatory. We have to eat to live. Body needs some food. Half of the belly should be filled with food, 1/4 with water and 1/4 with air. But what happens if we choke up the belly till, it's like a furnace. The furnace, you need some wood, you need some air to burn, right? But if they choke up the whole furnace with like wood, there will be no air to, the combustion will not be proper. The same is with body. If we overeat, we'll be lazy. We undereat, we'll be crazy. Same principle. And not just eating to fill the belly, eating right things in the right mood and consciousness, or the dinner table or wherever, the eating table, eating ground, whatever. We should eat Krishna Prasad. That's very, very clear, because otherwise one is eating sin. We have discussed bhunjate te avagam papam ye pachanti atma karana. We should not eat outside food, or limit it as far as possible, and gradually just eat prasadam cooked by devotees, served by devotees, offered by devotees. That's the best. Otherwise, it's sinful. Be happy and joyful environment while eating. Not crazy, not complaining, namak kyun nahi hai, Why you don't make nicely. It's okay. Even if your mother, sister, wife, something was less, just tolerate, take it, or just put yourself. Don't make a big issue out of it. Don't complain about others. Be happy. Read something or hear something, or just don't discuss mundane stuff. And this is what is recommended. Ayurveda, eat when you are hungry, not like 10 times a day. Keep munching something. That's not Ayurveda principle. Right? Eating is a science. If we eat properly, if we sit properly, then we'll be sick less also. If we eat the right stuff. If we eat things which are tempting to the taste buds, then it will be unhealthy for the body. Most things which are tempting for the taste buds are unhealthy for the body. Most things which are not so tempting for the taste buds are healthy for the body. Most things. Like most people don't like green vegetables and stuff, fruits. They may not be so tempting. Everyone likes big pizza, pasta, burger, fried stuff, but those are not so healthy. Again, as I said, we are not fanatic. Once in a blue moon, it's okay, but it should not be. When in doubt, should I take that extra chapati or not? Don't take. People don't die of hunger more. People die of obesity more. Right? Obesity is a bigger problem than hunger. Eat less when you're not well. This is a natural way to recover from small things like fever, cough, etc. Don't eat heavy stuff. The body is already it's again Ayurveda science. The body is already recovering. The body has a natural mechanism to recover, but if you use that energy to digest the pot full of food or the belly full of food, well, where will we get the energy to recover? So very scientific. If you observe animals, they don't eat when they are sick. They naturally, and you don't feel like eating also. So we should not choke up our belly when we don't feel like eating. All these are principles which will help us for a better health. Better health means less going to doctors, less wastage of time, right? And more time for bhakti, correct? So regulating, eating, sleeping, recreation should also be there. We are not fanatic. Krishna consciousness should be fun and joyful. So there could be sometimes, picnics with devotees, going to some park, some recreation, playing some spiritual games. There's a lot of fun can be done. Dramas and dance, and bhakti is so joyful. How we present it makes a difference. So we should make it in a joyful way. And again, that doesn't mean every day is like picnic only. Once in a while, once in a month, once in a few months, there should be some picnics with the congregation members. Should go to some place, maybe some, even natural things like going around as like a water or going in a mountain, something like that can be made fun. And like a retreat, going to a farm, spending time with cows, playing with the cows, feeding them. New Vrindavan, nice retreats. Of course, because of this corona, we are not having those things. But I hope things will improve and we can have those things more in person also. And the local communities should do to make it some recreation. With kids, you have to give bhakti in a fun way. Don't choke them up with things that they don't like. No, you have to chant 16 rounds, otherwise I'll punish you. That's not bhakti. They will start hating Krishna consciousness. Don't punish them. Hey, you didn't do this. Now you have to chant 2 extra rounds. Don't make it bhakti a punishment. Make bhakti a joyful experience. So very important recreation. But don't waste time. Ahara shuddhi, sattva shuddhi, dhruva smriti labdhe. Sarva granthim vipramokshaha. From purity of food comes purity of mind. From purity of mind comes constant remembrance of God, Lord Krishna. And from constant remembrance of God, one becomes free from all bondage and goes back home, back to Godhead. So I referred all these videos. Some of them are an hour, some of them are 10-20 minutes. So just giving all this in a condensed way. How to get up early, since some of you want to Basically follow a routine, and I'm just speaking to myself, follow a routine. One will be able to get up early when there's a strong why. My why should be to please Krishna. I have spent multiple lifetimes in the cycle of birth and death. This lifetime I've got a chance by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Let me not waste any more of it. I don't know how many years I have left. So follow a system, follow a routine is very helpful. It's not that someday you get up at sleep at 8, someday 12, someday 9, someday 11. Just keep a time, 9:30 or 10. That's my time. In between that, I'll go to bed. That's it. No more than 10. Eat dinner 2-3 hours before sleep. I like this habit from the American culture. They don't eat late. Indians eat late. In India, it's a night, 9 o'clock, they start cooking, right? One time we went, of course, in our home, we didn't have this habit. After sunset is not the time to eat, actually. The digestion power is weak. We have to live with the nature. As the sun goes up, our energy level goes up. If we don't live with the nature and work artificially, long hours, 8 hours is fine, 8-9 hours, it will have an impact. One may not see that time, working straight 20 hours, working night shifts, etc. Once or twice is fine, but it will have an impact sooner or later, right? So we have to live with the nature in harmony. Eat dinner before, because eat dinner should be the lightest of the meals. Sometimes just milk is fine. If you're not feeling so hungry, just don't overload. So it's a mild khichdi is fine. Khichdi digests faster, right? But if you eat, heavy chole, puri, bhature, naan, and this and that with 2 glasses of water and lassi and gulab jamun at night, 10 p.m., forget about getting up at 4 a.m. Don't use gadgets. This is personally, I have to work a lot on this. Don't use gadgets. Use nighttime is read some mild philosophy. Stories. Philosophy may be heavy actually. Don't read soul, atma, paramatma at the night. Read some Krishna pastimes. Krishna's pen, churning butter, Krishna teasing the gopis, Krishna playing with his friends. Some nice small stories. Follow a discipline. Don't use gadgets, TV, movies, Netflix, and YouTube, and I don't know, those Twitter, WhatsApp. Try to keep the phone away. Let's say I'm going to personally start practicing this. If you're sleeping in X room, keep the phone in the Y room. So it's away, so you don't feel the temptation to see it. See what works for you. Everyone, it's not one size fits all. Take the sunlight during the day, at least sometime in your lunch or something. Try to take some sunlight, do some exercise, which will help to sleep better. The body will be tired, the body will go. Sometimes people don't fall asleep. They may go to bed, but for an hour goes just to get to sleep, right? That's a waste of 1 hour, practically. Time is very precious. Proper food habits, everything is linked. Everything is linked, my dear friends. Good food, good mental state, people taking sleeping pills and sleep apnea, a lot of things. Follow an accountability. This is very helpful, especially those who are struggling a lot. Follow some accounting. So have a well-wisher friend whom you can talk to. They say, okay, we two are struggling with this. We want to get up. You report to me, I report to you. What time you're sleeping, what time you're getting up. And if we don't follow this, we'll have to do something to punish ourselves. Adults can do this. Okay, if you don't chant, if you don't get up tomorrow at this time, or you don't sleep on time, in our base, we had a system. You had to write 108 times Mahamantra, full Mahamantra 108 times. Or you have to see the punishment for yourself. It could be, I'll give extra $50 donation. It could be, I will chant 4 extra rounds. It could be, I will not eat breakfast that day until I chant, because I didn't follow the vow I made to myself. So you see for yourself something which the mind does not want to do, right? Because taming the mind, lato ke bhut baaton se nahi mante. The mind is like that. Bhakti Thakur says, every day we have to get up and beat the mind with the broomsticks and the shoes तभी वो मानेगा, otherwise it will अपनी मनवाएगा. So we have to take charge by higher intelligence, by sadhu sangha. You can rub your feet with some oil, mustard oil, coconut oil, etc. Play some soft kirtan and pray to Krishna. Krishna, help me. I want to take rest so I can serve you tomorrow. I can chant better. Please allow me to, please put me to bed so I can remember you in the night and like that. So jao, Bhagwan, help me out. Krishna, I want to chant nicely. I'm struggling. You only can help. So prayers will certainly help. So one last verse I want to say from the Bhagavatam. This is the main thing. And my dear friends, those who are regulated, everything else will fall in place also. Those who have regulated physical health, the mental health will naturally be nice. The japa is the best thing. Recreation, their kids will naturally have a stable lifestyle because they will see the parents are doing so nicely. Kids just absorb what the parents do. Lifestyle, not complaining, criticizing, all this thing we should avoid. Strong association of devotees, the relationship will improve, friendship will improve. All this is like all linked. It's not that one will, this is my understanding, is all linked. And this will all help to do better bhakti. Do some exercise, do some yoga. We have yoga classes also if you want to participate. And tomorrow actually we're doing a very special program to cleanse the body internally called Chank Prakshalan. So a little bit teaser for that. So Avatar Krishna Prabhu is mentioning a nice point that the punishment has to be enabled to improve our bhakti and not to engage in material enjoyments. So very nice point. Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing that. So, oh yeah, I was about to share a verse from Bhagavatam. See, so distracted. Yeah. The lifetime of such an envious householder is passed night either sleeping or in sex indulgence, and the daytime making money for maintaining family. So this is the materialistic life, right? In the night, just taking rest or sleeping 8, 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. People sometimes sleep a lot. They don't see the morning sun ever. In the daytime, decorating the body, maintaining the family, earning money, more money, more money. This is not the goal of life. The goal of life is self-realization. And for that, we need to regulate our eating, our sleeping, our recreation, and everything so that we can have a stable life and to keep Krishna at the center and we can make spiritual progress. Sorry, I'm a little over time, but I hope it makes sense to pause here. Time management is also a very big aspect of it, which time is very precious. And with all these, we will be able to manage our time better. Well begin is half done. So I'm praying to all of you so I can practice what I'm speaking today. I have a lot of shortcomings and I'm struggling also. But with your prayers and blessings, certainly I feel you will bless me so I can improve and really follow what we discussed today. So any comments, additions, or reflections for before we pause today? Anyone wants to say anything or any corrections, anything you don't agree or misspoke or is not clear, you want to add, subtract, multiply? Yes, Aparna Mataji, or any reflection on something really struck you. It's good to take 1 or 2 reflections also. Something really struck you from today's session. Yes, Aparna Mataji, please speak.
Hare Krishna, this chapter is an eye-opener to regulate one's life. Although we are living a restricted life as a teacher, but still there are certain things we should abstain from. And we shall really try to do so. Thank you for mentorship. Tomorrow is Teacher's Day.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
We're very
Hare
grateful
Krishna.
to you for all the kids you have trained and still doing so. So thank you for being a great teacher to so many students, including myself. Anyone else has any reflection, addition? Anything really struck you? So I can know that something went in. Yes, Ravi Prabhu. Yes, Yas Prabhu, want to say something?
Yes, really, the one thing really struck me is a stronger why. I think that is the reason, why I'm trying but not be able to get up very early in the morning. Yeah, so I try to go to bed at like around 9:30, but I cannot fall asleep until like 11:30, 12, and then the next day alarm rings, so I have to push snooze, and then I get up like two hours later when I have to work, when I have a why, that I have to get up. Yes. So I understand that we have to make the bhakti a big why than everything. So it really struck me. Thank you for
Thank you, Prabhu.
this lesson.
Thank you so much for your realization. And if you want, we can discuss offline also, because I think if we, so it's a cycle, right? It's a cycle. If we get up early, we'll get tired early and we'll tend to go to bed early. But if we get up at 7 or 8, then our body will, so we have to break that cycle. And it will happen slowly, because it's been going on for many days, weeks, and years probably. So it won't happen overnight, but take like 30-minute increments. That's what devotee suggested me when I was in college. In college, people don't, they're night outers. Night out, they go to bed at 4 a.m. right at the Brahma Muhurta. So yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Very nice point. Yes, Avatar Krishna Prabhu, you want to say something?
What I liked was actually your humility to say you taught a lot of things, but you are still working on those. It is very difficult to agree on your own shortcomings, and that is a nature of a pure devotee. Thank you for sharing that.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, it's just humility is very far. Pure devotion is very far. It's just the honesty, I would say, or trying to be honest that whatever I'm sharing is what I've heard from senior Vaishnavas and what they are recommending, and the Shastras are recommending. I'm also trying, and when we share our weakness and try to really make a plan to improve, I think it helps, and the why will get stronger, that I'm saying to all of you, I should do better, right? Because otherwise it will be just like a show bottle. So that's what my sincere prayer is, and I hope you all will pray and give your blessings so I can improve. So thank you, Prabhu, for joining. So I think that's pretty much it. Sorry, we're a little over time than planned, but I hope it was meaningful. And let's all try. If you need a partner, if you don't have, then I can, set you up with someone at your kind of counterpart. You can reach out to me, like the accountability, that well-wisher friend kind of system. If you need any other thing, I can be of any assistance. You can feel free to reach out to me. As I said, I will share what I'm trying and what I'm heard and learned. So I hope you all can follow this, not just for a day or two, not just for a week or month, but over and over. This is consistency. This is what please Krishna. This is what is required to show our sincerity to Krishna. And actually, Krishna is more eager to give himself to us, but he will see that sincerity. Swamatu Swinnagatra. When he saw the efforts of Mata Yashoda, he chose to be bound. This is Janmashtami. When he sees the efforts of a sincere devotee, even struggling, failing, we read that. We will fail. It's not that okay, today I made a vow and today I made this and now, I will never get up late. I'll struggle, I'll fail, but let's get up. No one learns overnight. A child learning bicycle, a child learning anything, any skill, making roti. No one makes perfect roti, round roti in one go. Any skill, any practice. It takes practice, it takes endeavor, it takes sincerity, it takes good association, it takes guidance. And most importantly, with all that, Krishna's mercy and prayers. especially for the bhakti path. So we'll pause here. Thank you so much for giving this wonderful chance. I'm so grateful to you all. Bhagavad Gita Upanishad ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samavita Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Bol.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.